In our next example, we're asked to use Cramer's rule to solve only for x in a system of equations. So we have a 3 by 3 system. And the nice thing about Cramer's rule is that we can go directly to the solution. And the solution, if we want to solve for x, is going to be that x is equal to a determinant we'll call d sub x divided by another determinant we'll call d. And this is going to be the solution for x in this system of equations. But we need to know what is d sub x and what is d. So first, let's start by writing the determinant d. D is just the coefficient determinant. We take all the coefficients on the left-hand side and write them in our determinant. So starting with the first column, the coefficients on x are 3, 2, and 4. Going down the next column, the y coefficients are 1, 7, and negative 3, and the z coefficients are negative 2, 3, and negative 1. That will result in the denominator of our answer. D sub x is a little bit different. In order to calculate d sub x, it's again another determinant, but what we need to do is to take these right-hand side constants, negative 3, 9, and 7, and actually take them and replace them with our coefficients for x on the left-hand side. So they'll go in the first column where the x coefficients were. So we'll have negative 3, 9, and 7, and then the other coefficients will remain as they were. The y coefficients will remain 1, 7, and negative 3. And the z coefficients will be negative 2, 3, and negative 1. So we just need to evaluate these two determinants, find the ratio, putting d sub x in the numerator over d in the denominator, and simplify that, and we have our answer. And now we're ready to calculate these two determinants. First, we have d. Let's expand across the minors, and when we do that, we'll have 3 times the smaller determinant when we cross out the row and column that 3 is in. We'll have 7, 3, negative 3, negative 1. Minus, going across the first row, expanding, we write the coefficient 1. We multiply 1 times determinant we get by crossing out the row and column that 1 is in. So we'll have 2, 3, 4, and negative 1. Finally, plus, we'll expand across to the last element, which is negative 2. And we cross out that row and that column. We're left with 2, 7, 4, negative 3. Let's calculate these values. We have 3 times the quantity. 7 times negative 1 is negative 7, minus negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Minus 1 times 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, minus 4 times 3 is 12. Plus negative 2 becomes minus 2 times 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, minus 4 times 7 is 28, which equals 3 times negative 7, that becomes plus 9, which is 2, minus 1 times negative 2 minus 12 is negative 14, minus 2 times negative 6 minus 28 is just negative 34. This simplifies to 6 plus 14 plus 68, which is 20 plus 68, or 88. Now we're ready to find d sub x. When we find, let's put a line down here. When we find d sub x, we're going to again expand across the minors. We'll have our first element, negative 3 times the smaller determinant we get when we cross out that row and that column, which will have 7, 3, -3, -1. Minus sign comes next. Our next element is 1. We expand across the minors. We cross out the row that 1 is in and the column that 1 is in. And we have left 9, 3, 7, -1. And finally, we have plus our last element, -2. And we multiply that by our last minor. We cross out that row and that column, and we have left 9, 7, 7, and -3. So we're going to calculate this, and we'll have -3 times the quantity. 7 times -1 is -7, minus -3 times 3 is -9, minus 1 times 9 times -1 is -9, minus 7 times 3 is 21, and then we have plus -2, so that becomes -2 times the quantity. This is 9 times -3, which is -27, minus 7 times 7, which is 49. So we have -3 times -7 minus -9 is just -7 plus 9, or 2. Minus 1 times -9 minus 21 is just -30. And then we have minus 2 times -27 minus 49 is -76. And this gives us -3 times 2 is -6, minus 1 times -30 is plus 30, minus 2 times -76 is going to give us plus 152. And we have a total of -6 plus 30 plus 152 gives us a total of positive 182 minus 6 looks like positive 176. Now, what is our answer going to be? Well, remember the answer for x is going to be d sub x divided by d. Well, here's d sub x, 176, divided by d, which was 88, and 176 divided by 88 gives us 2. So our solution for x is that x is equal to 2 by using Cramer's rule.